Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Pebble's free webinar, Empower Your Franchise, Unlocking the Potential of Localized Marketing. I'm Val, Revenue Operations Lead at Pebble, and your host for today. Let me introduce you to today's speaker, Siobhan Percy, Head of Marketing at Xplorers Group. She has plenty of years of experience helping franchisees use national brand strength with authentic local connections. Siobhan brings a wealth of practical insight and real-world success stories. And today she'll guide us through some different topics over the next 30 to 40 minutes, followed by a 10 minutes Q&A section. And firstly, she will be covering the franchisor's role in empowering local providers with consistent yet flexible messaging, why personalization and localization matter more than ever in today's children's activity market, the most effective marketing channels for local engagement, some case studies showing how local strategies boost bookings and trust, and tactics for blending national brand power with on-the-ground authenticity to fuel growth. A quick bit of housekeeping. This session is being recorded now. We'll send you the replay later on. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A panel at any time, and we'll make sure we can answer as many as possible at the end of the presentation. So having said this, over to you, Siobhan.
Thanks, Valentin. Thank you guys for coming along and listening in today. As you mentioned, I'm going to be talking to you about thinking national and acting locally in terms of your marketing and making sure that those personalized marketing messages really get through to your audience. I'm based in Oxfordshire, if any of you are based in that part of the country, and I've worked in marketing PR for 18 years. I started life in the world of software and technology marketing, moved into automotive, and then in-house into fashion marketing. And that was my first encounter with the world of franchising and having e-commerce and retail franchise brands. And it was in 2021 that I had my first child, and I was asked by the CEO of Computer Explorers to run the marketing, supporting their franchisees, onboarding their new franchises, and we've since acquired the CallQuick brand as well. So I also work on the marketing for CallQuick. But without doubt, hopefully everyone can see the screen. I'm going to jump into the presentation. So today I'm going to give you an introduction and talk about the role of the franchisor in marketing. So that franchisor, that head office level support, what can you ask them? What do they need to provide you to allow you to localize your marketing strategy? Then we'll talk about that localization and the personalization and why that's important. And then we'll identify the channels in which you can be marketing to your customer. I thought it'd be useful here actually just to show you a little video. I'm going to switch screens to show you a bit about Computer Explorers for you guys that don't know about our brand. I thought it'd be helpful to share that because we've got some excellent case studies and examples coming up later on, and it'd be helpful for you to have some context to those. So bear with me a second while I just show you the other screen. Okay. Here you go. So this is going to be a video about Computer Explorers.
Computer Explorers runs computing classes for kids. We see over 30,000 kids a week, and we are trusted by over 1,500 people at schools. Computer Explorers runs in schools, academies, we do after-school clubs, we do holiday camps, we do also PPA in-class teaching as well. So our kids will learn robotics, STEM, animations, stop animation, as well as get them involved with sports and outdoor activities. We're not going to be putting kids in front of the screens all the time. We do robotics where they get to build. We use lots of Lego and the Vex machines to build, and then they code the robots to move across the floors and to do different activities.
I think in today's modern society, everything is technological, everything's online. You use some form of a computer every single day, so it's really important that they know how to use it from a young age so that they can really utilize those skills in the future.
We follow the national curriculum that's taught at schools, but we also go above and beyond what's in there. We make sure we follow all the class lessons and we understand exactly what the teachers and the schools are looking for. Computer Explorers is countrywide. We have franchises all over the country, and we're currently growing internationally. We have UK, USA, Dubai, and we'll be looking to go into India, Africa, Australia.
So that's a little bit about the brand. Let me get my other screen back up for you. So coming on to how can a franchisor help with your local marketing success? Now, I'm aware that you might all be in different parts of your franchising journey, or you might be an independent. But really, the head office are there to provide you with the essential marketing resources and the marketing tools. I'm going to go through each one of those and kind of explain what they are and what you should be given. So at Computer Explorers, for example, we give all our franchisees a brand kit from the start. So this includes a messaging document that's a short description and a long description about the brand, as well as our key values and our key selling points. And the idea behind that document is to give all our franchisees something that they can utilize across their marketing channels. So whether that's a leaflet, whether that's content on their website, it gives them the base copy that they can pick up, copy and paste. So it's all optimized, it's all relevant. They will still need to elaborate on that content, but it gives you a really good basis for that marketing material. We also give visual identity, so the brand fonts, the brand colorways, any key logos or imagery that we might use. And that's along with an asset library. And I think that's something that's really valuable as a brand that's working in that children's activity space. Sometimes it can be hard to get the permissions to get the photos of the children, but if you can make sure that's part of your booking process, you can get those images. And we run that from a head office perspective. So we do several photo shoots every year and video shoots as well. And we bank all those assets and our franchisees can use those assets, because I know only too well that these franchises that are running the businesses day to day, you want to be in and you want to be running those classes, and you don't always have time to take a step back and take a photo on the day. It can be quite difficult. And then you go to promote your next campaign and you think, oh, I don't have a relevant image. So actually the head office can be there to provide those base level of assets. Not saying that you should be doing those, you should be doing those things locally as well, but actually it gives you those strong solid foundations, especially when you're starting out and you're in those first few years and you want to have that kind of solid content to start with. It gets you up and running kind of in those first few weeks. The other thing alongside a brand kit that would be really valuable for your franchisor and your head office team to support with are the tools. Now, this might be tools like a CRM, an email marketing platform, as well as kind of social media scheduling software. Every brand will have their own platforms that they have as a preference, and that might be something that's given to you by head office or something that you have to buy into. I would say with that software that I would expect the head office to provide training. We typically onboard our franchisees and give them training, and then we have recorded mini sessions that are held on our server. So you can go back and refresh your mind, because you don't need to use them every day. And we update with kind of the latest trends, the latest software updates as well. So really utilize that team and that head office team. If you think, this is taking me forever to think about these social posts, what scheduling software should I be using? Ask the team, find out what they'd recommend, and how they can support you with those tools. And the final thing that I'd be looking at from the head office team is having an experienced and knowledgeable team. Hopefully when you're looking into the franchising process, you'd have evaluated the team, but get to know their skill sets and how they can help you and who you can go to ask different questions. In our team, we're quite a small head office function and we all have different skill sets. And yes, I run the marketing side of things, but there are actually other people in the team that have their own franchise brands and are dealing with these classes on a day-to-day basis and will be able to support as well. So make sure you've got those key lists of contacts, who you can pick up with, who has that expert support within the team. And it might not be that support actually is within the head office team. For me, I can hold my hands up and say I'm not an expert on social media by any means, but actually I want to make sure that the franchisees have that support, and therefore I'm willing to hire agencies and support the franchisees by having an external resource that's accessible as well. So why does this local marketing matter? And I think it's really important to understand that head offices are great at providing you with all these tools, but unless you're actually tailoring that content, it isn't going to get that engagement in your local area. So we want to tailor things to drive that engagement, to drive loyalty and word of mouth, and build that genuine community connection so that you're front of mind to that local audience. And it's not just me and kind of the franchises that I work with that are saying that. The stats are out there and available publicly that 89% of people are searching for local businesses on their smartphones at least once a week. So this is a regular occurrence. People are searching on Google for that localized information. There is an expectation that they'll be able to find you there. And the personalized content actually receives a 20% higher click-through rate than non-personalized content. And so when I'm working with our new franchises, and I know I can see them come on board and go, oh, there's lots of different marketing activities that I need to be doing. And I always say to them, use what you've got from head office, take that and then build upon it. Don't feel that you have to make content fresh every time and make it local and, oh, what am I doing today? And I should post about this. Take that content from the head office team and localize it as much as possible. So what content can be localized, and what works? Well, you've got a lot of elements in the marketing mix, and I'm very conscious that you are running your business and you're busy and you want to teach classes, and you probably got into this because you want to be with the kids and you want to see them have the benefits rather than do marketing day to day. And as such, there's a lot of channels, but actually you want to be able to focus. You really want to be able to focus your time. Local marketing is best when it's done in person. You've got these digital channels, but actually make sure you're there in person. So that direct marketing segment, the physical flyers, going into assemblies to showcase your offering if you're working with schools, or going to summer fairs. A lot of our franchisees have actually been going to summer fairs over the last month, working with the parent-teacher associations to get those after-school club bookings. And that works really well. And I think as a brand in the world of children's education and childcare, you can have a bit of fun with this as well. An example of that would be one of our new franchisees in Warwickshire decided to purchase a Minecraft costume, one of the characters from Minecraft, and he dressed up at the summer fair as the Minecraft character to give out leaflets and encourage bookings for his holiday camps over the summer holidays. The kids actually loved it. They really engaged with that. The parents could see that, and it was building that trust element with the parents as well, and driving those bookings. So definitely focus on, how does your brand appear locally? Where are you going? Where are you heading to meet these people face to face? Building that trust is vital, and it's harder on digital channels. It's not impossible, but it is harder on digital channels than it is face to face. However, if you then need to back up with your digital channels, so in terms of priority, social media works really well, and that's social media including your paid advertisements as well. Then on your top, your email marketing and video content as well. And again, video content tends to drop to the bottom of everybody's list. It can be quite time consuming, and that's why we run it from a head office perspective and encourage franchisees to film some content locally. But actually, it's a great tool, even if you're popping up on social media and kind of saying, I'm at this village hall this week, we're doing a theme that is XYZ, we'd love you to come along. It just gets to the top of that feed and kind of engages and reminds that audience in the moment. And it adds that personal element. You're being trusted with their children. So if you can build your reputation and your brand, you need to be visible. And video is a great way of doing that. All these touch points need to be connected, but ultimately, for any marketing action to work, it needs to come back through to your website and to your bookings. And so I would start, before you do any of this marketing, look at your tools from head office and look at your website. Are you being given a copy and paste website? Are you tailoring that to your local audience? Are you being found in search? You need to be found at that local level. And I've put here, paid search is obviously at the top of Google, and you don't necessarily want to be spending ad budget on that. But below that is your local search and your map function. Well, that you can register a Google My Business or a Google Business profile to allow you to be listed in there. That's something that's free. So if you haven't done that, tick that box. Make sure you can be found at the top of that Google search. It's a free way of doing that. And then below that is your organic search. And to appear in that, you really want to consider what words are you using that would be relevant to that local audience. So if someone types in kids football near me, you're going to appear higher in the search. So consider things like local keywords in the title tags, the meta descriptions to really improve those click-through rates through to your website. Create specific landing pages that are relevant and using that local terminology. And really make sure that NAP information, so NAP information is your name, address, and phone number information, is consistent across all your channels. Google will penalize you if it's not. So name, address, and phone number, make sure that's the same in Google and on your website and on your promotional materials, your social, all your digital channels. That information it's really important that information is consistent. And finally, optimize your content. I've seen so many people get really passionate about, I've got this great video, try to put it live and then it slows down the website and no one can actually load that, or it doesn't work on a mobile device. So as you're playing around with things and loading things, just check they work across those different screen sizes. A lot of us are targeting that kind of busy parent on the go. Check that they can access that information where they need to. The other thing that I would say about your website is check that user experience, really test it. How are they booking that class? If they find you on Google, they're coming through to your website, how many clicks to get through to book an actual class? What information are they seeing before that point? Just think about that kind of whole context and that user journey, because if you don't get the website right, it's all very well investing this time and money in your different marketing channels, but you're sending them through to a website that they're then going to drop off. So make sure that you fix the website first before you kind of promote on those external channels. Now jumping into some practical examples, because I'd like to say we practice what we preach at Computer Explorers. So I wanted to start with Computer Explorers Sheffield. The lovely Martin and Lisa, been with us for a few years now, a couple. So Martin is an ex-teacher, so he teaches a lot of the classes. Lisa does a lot more of the operational side of things, so the social media, make sure the classes are on the booking platform, the website as well. So they have their Google Business profile. It's something that we do on setup to make sure that they've got their details registered in there. And then we look at the website. So again, going back to taking a look at when you set the brand up, looking at your website and how that can be localized so that you can be found in search. This is only kind of a brief summary of what is on one page of their website, but we encourage them to have a meet the team page to really show their faces. Again, add that personalization. When you're doing it, if you can, get those good quality images. So it might be images of you, it might be images or information about your instructors. You're working with children, there might be the opportunity with your brand to have a bit of fun with that, fun facts about your instructors. Add that detail in and then use those keywords such as the towns, the cities, and the areas in which you operate as well. One of the other things that I think is really interesting is that, and it's coming back to that loyalty element. And I'm shouting about kind of, we should be doing all this marketing and there's all these channels out there to localize your marketing, but actually your local marketing is about your community and the community that you're involved with and building those relationships. Lisa recently phoned me and said, great example of actually not needing to do any marketing because of her community. They have a weekend academy class. So it's a club that's run at a local centre every Saturday. They've got a loyal subscription-based service. And they were looking to go into a new after-school club in the area. And so Lisa had put all the information up on Pebble, she'd listed the class, and she just hadn't got around to promoting it yet. It was a good few weeks away from launching that after-school club. And she was chatting along to the parents at this club. Martin was teaching. She had the opportunity to talk to parents, and she said, well, this exciting, this after-school club's going to be launching soon, and I think your kids at that school, they might be interested. She didn't really think anything more of it. But of course, the club was live on Pebble. So the parents went ahead and booked the class on the booking platform. And then the parents put the link in the school WhatsApp group. Before you knew it, the club had filled up it was 75% full at that point, before any official promotion had taken place. Because they were loyal customers, these kids had been at this academy class for going on 6 months, nearly a year. They loved the brand. They were looking for more opportunities to have childcare arrangements, and it was a local opportunity for them. So actually use your customers first, target your existing customers. I think it's all too easy to go, oh, I need to put a marketing plan together and I need to appeal to new customers on social media and I need to get out there and do this. Actually, look at the customers that you've got. If you're building that trust and that loyalty with your existing customer base, how can you use that? How can you upsell? How can you promote? Are you sending a weekly email newsletter out to say, look, this is what we did last week in class. This is what we've got coming up. Oh, by the way, we've purchased a new piece of technology that your child might be interested. How do we engage with that existing customer? Another campaign I wanted to show you as an example of how marketing can work from a national and a local perspective is around British Science Week. So for us, British Science Week is a great hook to talk about our offering, to increase engagement and bookings and help us drive our kind of search engine rankings around a key topic for us. We got together with all the franchisees, and they're all in different areas across the UK. So we had to get kind of group buy-in to run a competition to win a free workshop, or one of 4 free workshops across the country. And then to promote that from a head office perspective, we created the webpage, the content, the mechanism for entry, a blog about what we do within these workshops around British Science Week. We also then sent an email out to all the schools in our franchise areas across the UK, and we used a paid piece of software to access those contacts and those teachers. We sent the email out to schools, and then we gave kind of base social media content. So that was kind of the head office level, and then we'd encourage our franchisees to push the competition on a local basis. So email marketing templates, localized, social media, localized. When they're in person at events, talking about the competition as well. And so all this traffic is pushing in the same direction, but locally as well as from a national level. There was also a great opportunity to use this campaign for content creation on an ongoing basis. So testimonials from the schools that won, a regular newsletter content to talk about what they've been doing in the British Science Week, giving some examples, social media content, photos, videos, all this extra content that is a great content creation opportunity as well. The campaign was really well received. We had around a 47% open rate on the emails to schools, and we had 327 entries into the competition and the 4 winning schools across the UK. 3 out of 4 of those schools went on to book further classes. So whether that was summer camps or additional after school activity. So it was building those relationships with those schools as well as a broader brand awareness piece. It definitely could have had more to it. We look back on it and go, it was a great start to a campaign, and it was probably one of the first campaigns we had multi-channels. What was my video feed just gone, Valentin?
Yeah, I can still see that you are sharing the screen, but your webcam is frozen.
I'll turn my video off for a second. If in doubt, we turn it back off and on again. Did that work?
All good.
There we go. If in doubt, technology, off and on. So yeah, next time there's an opportunity to elevate that even further, and we'll take the next step in the next campaign moving forward. So in terms of actionable strategies for franchisees, if we think, where do I start? What can I do? Ultimately, at the bottom, use the franchisor resources. Use the content that head office team are giving you. I frequently see new franchisees come on board and go, oh, I'm going to create this idea, and they're doing everything from afresh, and it's so much harder. It takes so much more time. You've got to really think about it. Actually, your head office are there to provide that content and provide those bases. So if you've got them there, utilize them, ask them questions, see what other things that they can provide to support you. And if it's not something that they are providing, also I say to all my franchisees, please just ask. If you need extra images on Minecraft or whatever the topic might be, I'm here, ask me. I can put that into a design brief ready for our next photo shoot, really open to ideas like that as well. Next step, once you've got those tools, plan your content and consider your priorities in that local marketing calendar. And what I mean by that is you've probably come from, I mean, our franchisees are from very different backgrounds. Some have more marketing experience than others. You've got all these different marketing channels. Really think about like, what training do you need to get you up and running? What can you do? What do you need support on? Will the head office provide you support? Do you need to hire a freelancer? Is that a good return on investment? Just prioritize your time and your skill set and allow yourself enough time to learn these things. You know, they can't always happen overnight. And then plug in and plan your content calendar and regularly check in on that. You know, I always say allocate blocks of time towards marketing. It's so easy to get up and running in your classes to then think, I didn't post this week, that didn't go live. Actually, I haven't thought about British Science Week for next year because I've not blocked out any time for it. Really sit down, look at your key hooks, things that might be relevant, things that are happening in your local area. Are there local events coming up? Schedule those in the diary in advance. Really do your research because it makes that the day-to-day actions so much easier and they won't just drop off as well. I think my camera's gone again. Sorry, let's turn it off and turn it on again. Don't know what's going on there. And then the top of the pyramid then really is using that local knowledge to make data-driven decisions. So make sure you have access to your Google Analytics for your website. You're looking at where that traffic is coming from those campaigns that you've been running. Is that working? Are you seeing that return on investment? If you're not looking at analytics, look at redemption codes. You know, if you've been offering a promotional code, are people using that promotional code? How many people are using that? Were certain offers better than others? Delve into that data and keep tweaking those campaigns. And I think also benchmark yourself against others. Look at competition. If you can afford to look at your competition every month, see what they're doing, whether that's competition in terms of other franchise brands, whether that's a bit of competition within your network. You know, we have Looker Studio reports, which is a piece of Google technology that you can use to look at your website stats. We share that with all our franchisees at a top level so they can see how many visitors they've had to the website and where they've come from. And it's a nice bit of friendly competition to say, actually, in the franchises that set up at the same time, I didn't say in the last 6 months, they've got a lot more traffic. Where's that coming from? Maybe I should pick their brains. And we really are open to that kind of collaborative, we're working together as a franchise brand. Ultimately, you need to work out how much time you're willing to commit to marketing. It can be a whole role in itself. It can take up a lot of time. You need to be able to prioritize it and focus on what works for you. But it is really important that it is localized. You can't just expect a head office to go, here's the money, you run it for me. You're working with parents that need to trust you and your personality in your local area. And that is really important. That is the end of the presentation. Did I speed through that, Valentin, or are we okay on time?
Yeah, no, this was great. Thank you very much for putting this together, and yeah, really interesting insights. I guess that now, so we still have a few more minutes. If anybody has any questions, yeah, this is the time to ask Siobhan.
Hey, I've got a question. Thanks very much for that. I also must have misread. I'm a franchisor,
Okay.
but never mind. What was that piece of software that you just mentioned for analytics? Because you know we really struggle with like our Facebook ads, and then we can't actually track from the website where they're coming from. From the website to booking on the third-party system on Pebble.
Yeah,
we can't actually track the back end of where they've come from.
yeah.
But maybe there's a software.
So you can use event tracking within Google Analytics to look at events. So you probably need someone with a relative bit of technical expertise. It's not something I've set up myself, but you can set up an event tracking within your Google Analytics. And then because Google Analytics for a lot of franchisees it can be quite technical, there's actually a lot of depth to it. And ultimately, franchisees don't need to know that level of detail a
No.
lot of the time.
No.
So you can set up a template within a software called Looker Studio. So it's a piece of software that's operated by Google. It's owned by Google, and so it's free. You don't have to pay for it, which is always a lovely. Sorry.
What was it called?
Looker Studio.
Look up.
Looker, Looker.
Oh, Looker. Right.
Looker
Okay.
Studio.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Again, you kind of need to know what information you want out of it to set up a template, and you can make it, you can make it really on brand. You can add design elements in there as well. And it asks you to pull the data feed from each one of your franchise websites in. So you can pull that information in, and then it will auto upload, and you can set auto exports. So we do an export once a month as a PDF that I can then forward to franchisees, and they can open and look at their data compared to others. I tend to keep it quite top level. So volume of traffic, and then whether it's organic, whether it's from social, whether it's from any paid activity, so they can kind of see that top level detail. The individual franchisees have more insight than that, but sharing amongst each other, I keep it quite top level.
Yeah, but do you actually know the conversion rates from like Facebook ads to booking via that, or?
So not necessarily via that, and the reason for that being, in the world of Computer Explorers, and sorry, I don't know your brand, but to apply it to a Computer Explorers example, over the summer holiday camps, we've had a 4-week Facebook campaign running. That's gone through to an inquiry form that collates in our CRM. We then have to have the franchisee phone up to convert a lot of those. And so it actually requires another piece of software for the franchisee to input in, okay, so I had a phone call with them on this date. Because they've got the form with the email address and the phone number, we can then track that through in the Pebble end and go, yes, they've booked. But it's manual. It is manual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to scale.
Yeah. It's, like if we knew our conversion rate from Facebook ads to Pebble, you'd pump in a massive budget in, but because we can't track it, it's very difficult.
We typically run it on a test basis. So I don't know how you work, but we tend to get 3 or 4 franchisees to test a campaign over the period of 4 or 5 months to prove that it works, and look for kind of the numbers that are working across the different franchise locations, and then we use that as a proof of concept to roll that out to other franchisees. It is the numbers on that side of things. You can tell if they're going through to the website, but to tell that they have actually booked, unless you're doing a redemption code. Yeah, which you just don't know. You don't always want to do a redemption code.
No, and that is the problem. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Thank you though.
I feel your pain.
Yeah. But it is what it is at the moment. I'm sure it's on their to-do list. Fingers crossed. But yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
That's okay.
Can I ask? Oh, go on.
Hello. I just wanted to ask you a couple more questions about the community sort of area that you focus on, especially when, little companies like ours is looking to sort of really engage more with the local community and start making that marketing more personal. What are a couple of things that you think other companies are still doing wrong in that sort of area?
I think wrong. Oh, dare I give wrong examples? I don't want to pinpoint anyone here. Wrong examples. There's quite a lot of just pushing digital and not willing to show up face to face. And I think with new franchisees, it can be really nerve-wracking going in front of schools, parents. When you're relatively new to the brand, you might not fully understand the concept yet. You're worried you're going to get asked questions that you might not know the answer to. And there's that feeling of I just want to shut down behind the barrier and not go in person. So I definitely see too much of just not willing to actually go in person. And I see a lot of franchisees also just trying to do everything in terms of their marketing. They come on board, they're so keen in that first week. We do a 1-day marketing training, and they're taking it all on board, and they then go off the next week and they try to do absolutely everything in the first few months because they have time and they have capacity to do it. 6 months down the line, that is much harder to sustain. It's really quite difficult. You get busy with the day-to-day. So really kind of looking at what works in your local area and taking and then building upon it a part at a time, because it can be hard to sustain that kind of full throttle. Yeah, I love the keenness though. Like I absolutely love that they come in and they want to do everything, but sometimes you've got to be realistic about what's possible.
Yeah. Of course. Well, thank you.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it does perfectly. Thank you.
Hi there. Thank you, Siobhan. That was really, really useful. My question is about the local searches on Google that you mentioned.
Yes.
Could you just talk through that a little bit more again, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of local search, you've got your paid advertising, which I'd love to have budget to do, but realistically, don't have a lot of budget to be able to do those things. Something that's on the pipeline wish list, would love to be able to do that. And then below that, you've got your Google business profile. So if you want to be found in search, you need to have that Google business profile. That's something that we suggest all our franchisees launch with, and it's something that you can actually connect those local accounts to like gather the reviews to a head office account. So making sure that you're utilizing all those free services. I don't think there's enough franchisees that actually utilize that fully, if I'm honest. I think a lot go in and put kind of the company name, the phone number, the contact information, and then just let it sit there. Actually, Google has an amazing reviews function where you can just click and collect reviews. So utilizing it like a social media channel, posting content, making sure that that is local, again with photos, using the FAQ, making sure the local keywords are in that profile as well. And then the website is, it's a time-consuming thing to do, to go through the website and make sure that competing classes in Birmingham is on the page and is in all the right areas, all the right tags. Sorry if my video is going. I'll turn it on again. But yeah, when the franchisees launch, I give them a list of here's the keywords that are relevant to your local area. Can you go through and just research all your local key towns, cities? So they kind of do the area research. I do the kind of broader keyword research. And then we give that to them and kind of say, okay, on these pages, this is all the information that you need to update to make this localized and relevant.
So it's literally the keywords on your website.
A lot of it is all related to keywords. And just making sure that your local towns and cities are listed in your keywords, and then anything else would be related to backlinks. So whilst there are websites out there that have really high authority and will help your website be found in Google, they're maybe not local sites, but there are some really good things like local newspapers, where if you're looking to do PR and digital PR and get content in your local newspaper, that being a local site and helping backlinks will help find you in search as well.
Got you. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's slightly harder to do and requires a bit of effort. But if you've got some amazing milestones, I've taught 10,000 children over the summer. Great. Tell the local press about it. Get that backlink, do the brand awareness around it as well.
Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, lovely. Thank you. Really useful.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Siobhan, for your time. This was very, very interesting and useful, and thank you for sharing all your knowledge on these topics. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining our webinar today. We'll be circulating the recording soon. Yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
See you.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.